Great news, friends. The attraction is closed. Hey everybody, it's Molly with All Ears, and I'm here today at the Magic Kingdom with a brand new challenge. We are taking on the Genie Challenge here at the Magic Kingdom, which means I'm going to attempt to use the Lightning Lane at all 18 attractions that offer it throughout this park. We're talking Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, we're talking about the Triple Mountains, Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, a lot of heavy hitters in this park. Is it even possible to use all of the Lightning Lanes? We'll share tips and tricks and strategy on how to use Genie Plus in this park. I hope you're ready, I hope you're excited. Let's get to it. Do you know what is fueling me through this challenge right now? The Christmas spirit. It is Christmas in the Magic Kingdom. No, it's not too early. The tree is here, there's new golden decorations, and even our first attraction has a Christmas overlay. As we scoot to our first attraction, let's go over a little Genie 101. Disney Genie rolled out about a month ago at this point, and it is the new planning service that has integrated itself into the My Disney Experience app. There are 3 portions of Genie. There is Disney Genie, that's free. That's where you can get your tip board and your customizable itineraries. You've got Genie Plus, which is $15 per person per day. It essentially replaced FastPass Plus. It's like Max Pass used to be out at Disneyland. It allows you access to skip the lines at over 40 attractions across Walt Disney World. You can only use each entrance once. You cannot do multiple times on each attraction with Genie Plus. Then there are also what I call Fancy Rides TM, because the official Disney name is Individual Attraction Selection Lightning Lane a la carte paid attractions, and that's far too many words. So I call them Fancy Rides TM. These are attractions that you can skip the line at, but it's an additional fee outside of that Genie Plus cost. With the Fancy Rides, you can book them at either 7 a.m. if you're a Disney Resort guest, or the time the park opens for everybody else. And you can book up to 2 per person per day, not per park, per person. Each park has 2 different Fancy Rides. In this park, they are Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain. Another word I'm going to say a lot throughout this day is Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane gets confusing because it doesn't match with any of the words I've said. But a Lightning Lane is just the physical line at the attractions you'll be going through. Both Genie Plus attractions and Fancy Rides have Lightning Lanes, but it replaced the FastPass lane. So that's just the place. Genie Plus is the thing. And now we are almost to our first attraction, Jungle Cruise. So with Genie Plus, you can book your first attraction at 7 a.m. You can only have 1 at a time for the most part. There's a weird caveated rule we'll probably get into in this park. But for the most part, you can have 1 at a time, and then once you use it, book another one. So you can book your first one at 7 a.m. The best ones, I think, in this park to book right away are either Jungle Cruise or Peter Pan's Flight. Both of those are very popular with a low capacity, so they get long waits, and they get further out Genie Plus times. Back in the day, you walked up to a FastPass distribution kiosk, it said now distributing this time to this time. You put your ticket in and you got whatever time it gave you was next available. That's exactly how Genie Plus works. When you look at the digital tip board, it's like carrying a little tiny FastPass kiosk in your pocket because it's always going by next available, which means party size doesn't matter. It's always going to be next available. Imagine if you were up at a FastPass kiosk and you had 2 tickets, the person next to you had 8, you still all got whatever time it was displaying. So that's how you got to think about Genie Plus. And let's go do our first attraction. Like I said, first up we're doing Jungle Cruise, except for it's already become the Jingle Cruise, which is the holiday overlay on this classic attraction where they decorate, the skippers wear Santa hats, they tell Christmas and holiday themed jokes. It's a lot of fun. But this attraction already has almost an hour-long posted wait, and the park's only been open for about 15-20 minutes. So this is a great one to use that Lightning Lane on. And let's get to it. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Jungle Cruise recently went through a renovation where they updated a lot of scenes in the attraction, added some new ones. It's still super fun. It's still got the backside of water and all of your classic moments, but look at this. We are bypassing this 55-minute wait. We're walking right up. I love one of my favorite details at Jingle Cruise is they rename all of the boats. So this is now the Icicle Irma. And look at all the decor. It's so fun and festive. Jungle Cruise, or should I say Jingle Cruise, always fun. And like I said at some point, so if this is one you want to do, make sure you prioritize doing it. I recommend if you want to do this one, book it right at 7 a.m. or rope drop it. But all right. So as I said, after you use your first one, once you've tapped in at the second tap at the attractions, you're free to book another one. So I am trying to stay kind of close by and not run all over the park. And I was able to book a 9:55 at Splash Mountain. But then I thought, we could do better than that. So I actually fiddle-faddled and got a 9:35 at Splash Mountain, which means we can go right now. When I say fiddle-faddle, that was a term I started using just on a whim, and it caught on when I was talking about FastPass Plus, and it just means to refresh the page. So if you pull down on the tipboard and refresh, it could possibly show you new times for next available. Sometimes people cancel them, or maybe the attraction realizes they can have more people than they thought. So sometimes, occasionally, if you pull down and refresh, a closer time will pop up. So I was able to pull, again, a 9:35 Splash Mountain. The one thing I don't love about this system is that you can't modify your current one. You have to go in and cancel it, and sometimes it glitches out and it's a whole thing. And then you can book the new one. So I canceled the 9:55 one, and luckily was still able to grab the 9:35 one. So we're gonna get Splash Mountain over early, and I really hope I don't get that wet. I also want to point out that Pirates only had a 10-minute wait right now, so if this was like a perfect day video, or I was advising you on how to do your day, I would actually tell you to stop and ride Pirates first, and then come to Splash, because you'll still be well within your 9:35 to 10:35 window, but that's not the point of the day. The point is to go through all the lightning lanes, but I really truly think a perfect day in the parks using this system is going to be a combination of standby lines and Genie Plus passes. But we'll do those videos later. For now, we gotta conquer the Genie.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a second. Do I look ready for a water ride? I don't think that I do. Splash Mountain, as you may know, is a water ride. It's that log flume 50-foot drop down into the Briar Patch. There's a 40-inch height requirement. Definitely a fan favorite. At some point, it is being refurbished to a Princess and the Frog theme, which I can't wait for. But as you know, I really don't like getting wet, so here's my own brand of magic with a special sprinkling of fun from the editors. Now we're ready. Let's go. Splash Mountain is an incredibly popular attraction. It's one that on most days I would say is a very good use of a Genie Plus, especially during the summer when it's hot. This will shoot upwards to 90 minutes or so, and it'll stay there pretty much all day. If you do not want to use Genie Plus, then I definitely recommend either rope dropping or riding this one late at night. Or if you get lucky on a cooler day, it might not be that long, but we all know there's not very many cooler days in Orlando. Check. Didn't get too wet thanks to my official water ride uniform. It can be yours for the price of a rain jacket and a hat of your choosing. It's essentially foolproof except for on Cali River Rapids, where the water's unpredictable and typically hates me. But Splash Mountain, a great attraction. Typically on a warm day, a very good use of a Genie Plus. But like I said, you can avoid a long line here, but this is a good one to use it on. So now I am going to magically get out of this outfit and head to our next attraction. I looked for a few minutes for big attractions nearby to see if I could refresh and fiddle-faddle to a closer time for like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Pirates, or Haunted Mansion, none of which have long lines right now, but I couldn't get a time closer than about an hour away for any of them, so I instead booked Magic Carpets of Aladdin, which is definitely a filler ride, one you probably don't need to use Genie Plus on, but I booked it since it's nearby. And then after that, I'll try and keep going for one of those big ones. Magic Carpets of Aladdin is a spinner attraction, similar to Dumbo the Flying Elephant, but of course, instead you're riding on magic carpets. It is definitely a filler attraction for most. It's not a must-do for many people, unless you've got little kids who love these style of attractions or a big Aladdin fan. This one's probably a good skip. There's so much to do in the Magic Kingdom that I don't think this is the top of most people's priority list, but we're going to do it today and use the Lightning Lane. Carpets of Aladdin, it's nice, it's pleasant, you get a good view of Adventureland, but definitely not a must-do, like I said, for most people, and definitely not one I feel like you should use your Genie Plus on, especially because at the time I could have booked Pirates for 30 or so minutes out from when I was getting in line for that. So if you do want to ride something like Magic Carpets of Aladdin, book Pirates for 30 or so minutes out, and then ride that without Genie Plus, and then you'll be close to, you know, get a Dole Whip or whatever, and then you can go ride Pirates. I booked a Small World, because I'm not too far from Small World, but then I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I canceled the Small World, and I fiddled and I faddled, and I was able to pull Pirates of the Caribbean for about 7 minutes from when I was looking at it. It took a lot of refreshing, and again, I could have booked it for 11, which is about 35 minutes from now, but that's not the point. I want to fiddle and I want to faddle. So, as a pro tip, if you're gonna fiddle faddle, you can edit your top selections on the attractions in the tip board. You can edit what you're looking at. I always remove anything except for what I want in that time. That way, those are the top things on my tip board. It'll pin those for you, and that way you don't have to scroll through the whole list, all the attractions to get down to P for Pirates of the Caribbean. So I pinned like Pirates, Mansion, Thunder, Peter Pan, and I was able to pull Pirates first. Pirates of the Caribbean already has a 20-minute wait, which isn't too long. You could have ridden it this morning, of course, like I said, with a shorter wait, but this one will fluctuate throughout the day. I wouldn't recommend waiting too long for this one, even though it's my favorite attraction in the park, because it will be lower in the morning and the evenings. That said, it'll shoot up and it'll get around an hour for a lot of the day, so it is a good use of a Genie Plus Lightning Lane if you are using the system. Pirates of the Caribbean is a family boat ride through the wild and raucous pirates. It's got that classic song. It's, in my opinion, I say this a lot, a perfect Disney attraction because it's got a little bit of thrill, but it's still a family ride. It's got the iconic animatronics, but it's been updated to incorporate the new films. And it's a classic. It's a must-do, in my opinion, and a great use of a Genie Plus, especially on a busy day when it gets that longer line. The Caribbean so much that the last time I rode it, I was forced to exclaim, "Golly gee," afterwards. Golly gee, do I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Not a phrase I will be adapting into my vernacular, but after my second touch point, I was able to book. A couple fiddle faddles got me rule. It's very complicated. It's a weird loophole thing with this system that a lot of people have questions about, rightly so, because it's literally the most confusing thing about this already incredibly confusing system. But I'm gonna end up triggering the 120-minute rule. With Peter Pan's Flight. So I'm trying to get in a few more strategically before I do that, and I'll explain all of that in more detail and why I'm waiting to trigger it in a little bit. But first, the ghosts are calling. Listen, can you hear them? Haunted Mansion is one of the most beloved attractions in all of Disney. It is a family ride through a haunted mansion, as it would suggest, but it's an iconic opening day attraction that I insist you ride when you're here. It's very popular. It already has a 50-minute wait, and it's barely 11 a.m., so this is a fabulous one to use your Lightning Lane if you're going to enjoy this attraction, and you're not going to ride it first thing in the morning or last thing at night. So we are going to tap in and get ready to go see the 999 Happy Haunts. Did you hear that? It made a special noise. There we go. This attraction has so much lore and backstory, starting from how do you make an attraction about death at the happiest place on earth? That was the question that lingered at Disneyland when Walt Disney was around. They went through a couple ideations. They thought about a walk through wax museum, but then the Omnimover was developed, and they decided to do an Omnimover attraction, and it's part spooky, part funny, but it is so good, and it's such a classic that this attraction has been around for over 50 years, and they've barely had to change any of the effects because they are simple magic. They're amazing.
Our tour begins here in this gallery. Here where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state.
Haunted Mansion, absolutely a classic, an iconic favorite. You must do it, and it's a great use of a Genie Plus if you're paying for this service because it is very popular and it will get a very long line. So far we've had a great day. It's about 11:30. We've done a lot of heavy hitters: Jungle Cruise, Pirates, Mansion, Splash Mountain. Those are all great attractions. We didn't have to wait in line for any of them. I will say if you get here early, especially if you're an early park entry guest, meaning you're a Disney Resort guest, you can knock out all of those attractions we just did pretty quickly without the Genie Plus as well. I recommend rope dropping, being here as early as you possibly can, and going to this half of the park first. However, if you are a resort guest, I also wouldn't say it's a bad idea to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train first, so you don't have to pay for that as a fancy ride. So it is possible to do all these attractions without too long of waits, without paying, but it takes a lot more strategy and a lot more planning. Quincy and I actually did an experiment recently in the Magic Kingdom where she paid for the attractions, I didn't, and we saw who could get through the most popular attractions first. And I actually got through all of them faster by just going around and using my theme park knowledge. However, I did have to wait in a very long line for Peter Pan's Flight, and she waited in line for nothing and had a much more relaxing day. So it kind of depends how you want your day to go. That said, what's happening now? Well, it took a long time. Here's my screens. And I was a fiddlin' and a faddlin'. I got by the Genie 3 different times by trying to book a... When I say got, I mean it'll say one time, and then when you click it to book it, it changes to a later time, because in that split second it took you to click it, somebody else grabs that. So I got on Small World, Peter Pan's Flight, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad all right in a row, and then I was finally able to book the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh in about 10 minutes. Once again, it's not a bad thing that the attractions are 45 an hour out. Most people would just book those and then go on things that don't have long lines in the meantime, and that's absolutely how you should use this service. You shouldn't spend 10 minutes standing outside the Haunted Mansion like I just did, refreshing to book one sooner, but this is what we're doing today. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a fun challenge to show you how to use the system, but again, if you're trying to ride Small World and there's not one closer than 45 minutes for now, go ride the carousel, go see a character, go do something else, and then ride it. You don't have to spend all day on your phone like I do, because I'm doing these challenges. Before we make our way over to the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, let's do like a little quick 11:30 a.m. assessment of what the park looks like. Thunder has a 30-minute wait, and the next Genie Plus is 2:05. That one is going to be a tricky one. That one could trigger the 120-minute rule. Small World, 25-minute wait, 12:30. Peter Pan's Flight, 60 minutes, 2:55 is the next Genie Plus. Mermaid, not a long line, close Genie Pluses. Barnstormer, not a long line, close Genie Pluses. Buzz, not a long line, close Genie Pluses. Dumbo, 25 minutes, but close Genie Pluses. Mansion already dropped to 30, but it's 120 for the next Genie Plus. Jungle Cruise, 70 minutes, and you can't get Genie Plus till 3, so that was a great one that we used this morning. Teacup, short line, close Genie Pluses. Same thing with Magic Carpets of Aladdin and the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. There's only a 120 as the next one, but keep in mind this attraction opens late, so you can't even book the first one until the early afternoon. Pirates, 45-minute line, and you can't book another Genie Plus till 12:40. Glad we did that one already. Mine Train, 70-minute wait. Space Mountain, 25-minute wait. Splash Mountain, 55-minute wait, so glad we used that one already. So there's your kind of assessment of what the park's looking like. Oh bother, friends. The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is temporarily closed. what happens if an attraction that you booked, a Genie Plus specifically attraction, not a fancy ride, if a Genie Plus attraction is closed, you will automatically be issued a redemption recovery lightning lane. That lightning lane can be used at the attraction you booked at, so in my case, the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, or any of the attractions on the list at any time throughout the day. So you can use it once that attraction that was closed reopens later, or you can use it at any attraction on the list. Notably not on the list are Peter Pan's Flight, as well as the fancy ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain. Also notably not on the list, the character experiences, which don't actually have lightning lanes officially yet, so maybe that's a sign that they'll come later. So I now have a bonus lightning lane usage that I'm going to go use right now at a different attraction, and I was able to book my next Genie Plus. So that is what happens if you have a Genie Plus that closes during your return window. I am going to go use that bonus recovery lightning lane over at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That's one of the most popular lightning lanes, so if I can go ride it right now, that is super duper. Yeah, why did I say super duper? I regret everything. Are you embarrassed for me? So, I'm going to go use that bonus recovery lightning lane over at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad because that has been one of the hardest ones to book at a close time behind Peter Pan's Flight. I also went ahead and booked Peter Pan's Flight, which shot up to a 100-minute wait, and the next lightning lane I could book was 3:15, which was my sign to go ahead and activate the 120-minute rule. Okay, the easiest way I can break down the 120-minute rule is this. You can book another Genie Plus attraction when, 1, you have tapped in to your first attraction. 2, your window closes, aka you missed it and you didn't go to the attraction. Or 3, when it's been 120 minutes since you booked the last one. Whichever of those things comes first. So, I was able to book a 3:15 for Peter Pan's Flight at 11:39 a.m. So, when I tap into the attraction at 3:15, that's 3:15. If I miss my window, that's 4:15. Or 120 minutes from 11:39 a.m. is 1:39 p.m. 1:39 p.m. is the earliest of those 3 times, and therefore that's when I can book another one. I hope that was helpful. I understand the 120-minute rule is very confusing, but I was waiting to activate that 120-minute dead time, cool down time, whatever you want to call it, until I had done a fair amount of things throughout the park, and until I had my Seven Dwarfs Mine Train fancy ride booked, so that way, during the 2-hour cooldown period, I'm not just wasting time. So now, during the 2-hour cooldown period, I'm going to 1, ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, 2, ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train when it's that turn, and 3, I'm going to book Space Mountain and ride that as well. Maybe get a coffee. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, our second mountain of the day, also has a 40-inch height requirement. This is that runaway train coaster that makes me giggle hysterically every time. It is so much fun. You will laugh and enjoy yourself like you're a kid again. I adore this attraction. It's a great attraction for the whole family that is tall enough. Maybe if your kids ride the Barnstormer and they like it, have them give this one a whirl. But it is a blast. I love it. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad already has a 40-minute wait. That's probably pretty accurate. It moves pretty quickly. But this one also very popular, will get a long wait. A great use of a lightning lane. This was another one that was giving me times pretty far out. Like Peter Pan's Flight, not quite as far. But when I was refreshing and looking at it, most of the times were about an hour and a half or 2 hours away from when I was looking. fun. I giggle every time because when you fly across the seat like that, there's nothing better than it. I love that one. It's a great attraction, and since I used a bonus redemption Genie Plus on it, I could technically still book it later, because when you get the redemption things, it doesn't count as a Genie Plus Lightning Lane. So if you ever get a redemption and you have a favorite ride you want to ride again that it works at, go ahead and use it there, because you can still use your Lightning Lane there later. So great moment on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Glad we could check that one off. While I was in line for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, I booked Space Mountain, because now I have a better idea of when I'm going to ride it. And then I've already got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train booked. I booked that one this morning as soon as I could, because I knew that would sell out faster than Space Mountain. And now I'm in line to get coffee, one of my favorite activities in the Magic Kingdom, because I technically have about 50 minutes until I have anything else to do. So we're going to get coffee, and then we're going to do a secret surprise thing that hasn't officially reopened, but it's open. A lot of people don't realize you can actually get Joffrey's Cold Brew right here at Westward Ho. This is the little snack stand across from Pecos. They have candied bacon, jalapeno poppers, corn dog nuggets, and my beloved cold brew. And you can actually get pumpkin put in it here. So a great spot to get coffee that usually doesn't have as long of a line as some of the other popular spots like the Main Street Bakery. A few weeks ago, Disney announced that meet and greets were coming back. They're not quite the same. You can't hug the characters, they can't sign autograph books, but they are going to be in a special location like they used to be, and you can have some character time. But they actually secretly opened up some of them early, and it's not even listed on the tip board yet. But Mickey is in here in his special 50th outfit, and I haven't seen him yet, and I haven't gone to see Mickey in Town Square Theater in like 21 months or something crazy. So let's go. Hello, Tinkerbell's not back yet. She's not one that's slated to come back initially. It's just Mickey and the princesses. Hello. Thank you. In this park, it was Mickey and the princesses at Fairy Tale Hall. They're there early as well. And then over at Hollywood Studios, they're going to bring back some of the Disney Junior characters, as well as some of the classic characters over there, like Minnie. And I'm so excited that the characters are coming back, at least in some fashion. I've missed seeing you. You like my ears? Thank you. You look so dapper in your outfit. All dressed up for the 50th anniversary. Oh, you gotta look good. Minnie made your outfit? Oh, well, she did a really good job. Did she make everybody's? She made her dress and Donald's and Goofy's and Daisy's and Chip and Dale and Pluto. Oh my gosh, she's a busy lady. Did she have any help? Did you help? That's okay, Mickey. I know you're very busy. Can we take a picture, Mickey? Okay. I know I'm being super dramatic, and I know I've seen him in the cavalcades and at distance at character meals, but to be able to go in and see him, I'm just being dramatic. But gosh, oh, it's so fun. I'm so glad that's back. That's such an important part of Disney to me, is the characters, especially Mickey. So I hope more characters return soon. I can't wait till we can actually get to hug and get autographs, but I understand why we're doing it this way for now, and it's so great. So make sure, even though it's not listed right now, that you come and see Mickey or the princesses. So, and hopefully these things will be added to Lightning Lane. So as it officially opens, it gets more popular. Hopefully these will be added and you'll be able to use your Lightning Lane at these places. But whew, that was magic. After a coffee, a dramatic moment meeting Mickey again, taking some PhotoPass pictures for a thumbnail in front of the castle, it's time to use my Lightning Lane at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that I booked at 9 o'clock this morning. The Lightning Lane return side is very long, but it will still be faster than the 80-minute posted wait, I'm pretty sure. So Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is the first of the 2 fancy rides here at the Magic Kingdom. It has a 38-inch height requirement. It's definitely the most popular ride in this park. As a reminder, with the fancy rides, you can book them at 7 a.m. if you are a Disney World Resort guest. or at the time the park opens if you're not. So this morning the park opened at 9 a.m., so I was able to book Mine Train, and the very first time available was 12:55, which is what I booked. So if you are going to use a Lightning Lane for this attraction, you're going to want to book it as soon as possible because you're not going to get as much choice. As a reminder as well, with the fancy rides, you do get to pick which time you're going of what's available. You can select from a variety of times as opposed to first available with the Genie Plus. So if you're going to use this one, I spent $10 on this attraction today. Reminder that the fancy rides can vary by day and time of year. So a random weekday in the middle of January will be less expensive than a weekend day or Christmas week. So $10 isn't a lot when it's just me, but when you add that up quick, it can certainly get pricey. If you're going to use one in Magic Kingdom, this is the better choice of the two. However, if you're a Disney Resort guest, I definitely recommend rope dropping the early park entry and heading straight for this, or riding this later in the day in the evening time, especially right before the park closes. This should drop, but it usually does have a long line. So I could make a case for paying for this one if this is a must-do attraction for you, but I think for most people you can jump on it at a shorter wait most times. Thank you. The predictive wait feature is on the tip board. If you click into any attraction, it will let you know not only the current wait time, but it will also show you the predictions for the rest of the day. Also, I will say once again, I don't know why DAS has showed up, Disability Access Service, on my account. I do not have DAS. I'm not linked to anyone that has DAS, but there was a glitch, I was told, and it showed up. But if you do use DAS, it will be right there on your page. But as you can see when I click it, nothing happens because I don't have it. Anyway, so you can see it's supposed to have a very long line throughout most of the day, but it'll drop in the evening. This is when I also will remind you that you can get in line for any Disney attraction as long as the park is still open, even if it has an hour-long wait. So the park closes at 9 tonight. You could literally get in line at 8:59, and if it still has an hour-long wait, you just spend that hour after the park's closed. So I recommend doing that for this attraction. Get in line a few minutes before it closes, because that way if you're spending an hour in line, at least you're not wasting any valuable park time. 7 Dwarves Mine Train check. That really is a cute attraction. I love how the cars swing back and forth like mine cars, and I love the part with the dwarves because it's like a dark ride inside a coaster. But being in the front is not as fun as being in the back. Like on most coasters, if you're in the back, you get flung around a little bit more, but it's still really cute. I don't know if it's worth $10. It depends on how much you want to ride this attraction, I guess, and how long you're willing to wait in line. But for me, I could make an argument for buying it if it's a must-do for you and you don't want to wait in an hour-plus long line, but you can probably get on it with less of a wait. When Quincy and I did that experiment, it had a posted 70. It ended up being like 35 for me, but that's definitely a gamble because even just now, when I was in line to go in the Lightning Lane, they announced that the queue was going to be longer than it was posted because they were having some issues with the ride. So definitely a gamble. That one's probably going to be a long wait unless you go early, or late. I did wait about 12 minutes in the Lightning Lane to get in my mine car, which is always great time to remind you that by having a Lightning Lane, it doesn't mean you're immediately going to walk on. Most of the time throughout the day today, I've pretty much just walked onto the attractions, but it mostly is just saying that you're going to have an expedited wait compared to the standby. So they're still going to prioritize you over standby, and you're still going to have a much shorter wait. Again, that was 80 minutes just now posted, but you may hit a little bit of a delay, so just be patient. Also, when I knew I had triggered my 120-minute cooldown, I went ahead and booked Space Mountain for during this time. That is the other fancy ride here in Magic Kingdom, and that one does not sell quickly like 7 Dwarves Mine Train. I was able to pick pretty much any time I wanted, and so I picked a time that would also be within my cooldown. So now I'm spending that 2 hours when I can't book another Genie Plus. I got a coffee, I met Mickey, I rode Mine Train, and now I'm gonna ride Space, all within that 2-hour dead time. Let's do another little wait time tip board update. 20-minute line at Barnstormer and can book a soon Lightning Lane. Thunder Mountain, 25-minute posted wait, but I couldn't book a Lightning Lane for almost 2 hours. Buzz, 35-minute wait, soon Lightning Lane. Dumbo, same thing. Small World, a little bit further out, but not too bad. Tea Party, soon. Winnie the Pooh's back up, but couldn't book it for another hour or so. Monsters, Inc. doesn't have too long of a line or a far out time. Same with Tomorrowland Speedway. Same with Little Mermaid, which are all the rides I have left. Mansion has a 65-minute line now, so I'm glad we did that. Same with Jungle Cruise. Peter Pan has a 55-minute line, but remember we booked that one for a little bit later. Pirates has a 30-minute line now. Space has a 50-minute line, and Splash has 30. So we've done a lot of the heavy hitters today already. Headed into Space Mountain. This one cost me $7, and like I said, it was pretty much anytime I wanted. In fact, looking at it right now, I could buy one for right now walking up to it if I didn't have one already. So Space Mountain is not one I recommend using a Lightning Lane on. It only has a posted 20-minute wait right now as I'm walking up to it, and it will often be very low throughout the day. It may hit a peak. It may get upwards of an hour or so, especially on really busy days, but relatively this one is going to have a low line, so this is one I don't really think you need to spend money on. Base Mountain is my personal favorite of the Magic Kingdom mountains. It has a 44-inch height requirement, which is the tallest in this park, and it's that roller coaster through space in the dark. It is so much fun. You probably need to go to the chiropractor afterwards. I know a lot of people don't like it for that reason, but this just reminds me of being a kid and laughing and giggling. And this is also one of the few attractions that's a Magic Kingdom original as opposed to a Disneyland original. Most of these attractions premiere in Disneyland first and then came over to the Magic Kingdom years later, but this one opened in 1975 at the Magic Kingdom first. So that's another reason I like this one. Looking at the standby line, they're still moving and grooving over there, so again, unless it's the busiest day of the year, I really don't think you need to pay for this one. Hello! Thank you. Sometimes I'm asked, Molly, as a theme park professional, how do I gracefully get out of the Space Mountain coasters? And to you I say, literally impossible. I booked Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in about 30 minutes because I'm hungry and I thought I would go ahead and grab a little nosh at the lunching pad. I thought about going to Cosmic Rays to get my beloved Greek salad, but I remembered they had a 50th anniversary treat here at the lunching pad that I haven't had yet. So we're gonna get that. I mobile ordered. Also, the mobile order told me that there weren't any times available at any quick service restaurant. That's obviously a glitch. If it says that, just click into the restaurant of your choosing and time should show up. Say hello to the If You Had Wings, which is a nod to a no longer existing attraction here in Tomorrowland. It's for the 50th, and they are just Caribbean jerk tossed chicken tenders. They come with a side of either a cutie or potato chips. Spoiler alert, they're plain Lay's. I usually get the cutie to throw in my purse for later. Grabbed a free cup of water and some ranch, and I'm excited to try these because when I go to like a wing restaurant, Caribbean jerk is my favorite flavor, so I hope these are good. I do prefer bone-in wings to boneless wings because boneless wings are literally just chicken nuggets, or in this case, chicken tenders, and I like to rip it off the bone like I'm an animal, but this is fine. They're pretty good. I mean, they just taste like chicken tenders. It's not a strong Caribbean jerk flavor. There's a lot of parsley, there's a little bit of heat, but what I like about Caribbean jerk is they're normally like the sweet and spicy, and they're normally hotter than this. But there is a little bit of heat. There's good flavor, lots of herbs. I'm gonna dip it in ranch. No real complaints here. They're not really wings, they're just tossed chicken tenders. They're not real saucy or anything. It's more of a rub than a sauce. But you get 4 of them. This would be a great snack if a couple people just wanted to go in on this, or it could be your meal as well. So in a park that doesn't have great quick service, I would argue Magic Kingdom has the weakest quick service game of all the parks. This is a good option. I can see myself getting it. Finished up my delicious wings, and now it is time to head inside for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. This is a family-style ride. It's a shooting game where you are going to help Buzz and the green aliens defeat the evil Emperor Zurg. It's like riding through a video game, family ride. It's super fun. It has a 20-minute rate right now. It can go up much, much higher than that, but it sometimes will have a low one. So this one's a good one to use your Genie Plus on. It's kind of hit or miss. as far as the line goes, but it can get very long, so it's a great one to use. But if you're not using Genie Plus, you can usually avoid a super long line here by just watching the wait times in the app. And yes, I have in fact seen the Lightyear trailer. I have been excited for this movie since they announced it last year. The fact that Chris Evans is voicing Buzz, and I want to remind you, this is not about Buzz the toy, this is about the man that inspired Buzz Lightyear the toy. And I'm so excited. I actually live reacted to the trailer. It's on Instagram. Oh my gosh. A whole movie about Buzz Lightyear, can you believe it? Galactic Hero. I actually got like over 400,000 on the second gun as well because I maxed out the first one once. I maxed out both guns and I think I should put it on my resume. Anyway, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin is so much fun, and it's been a while. I believe someone messaged me the other day, how can you max out the guns? So there's a couple great targets to hit. In the first room, the big orange robot going like this, if you hit the front or the back of his left hand, that's 100,000 points. And also in that same room on the right hand side, there's a claw like this. If you can hit the top of that one, that's 100,000. In the next room, the volcano is, I want to say 25 or 50,000. That's a great one. And then in the room with Zurg at the control desk, it makes a V down at the bottom. There's one at the point of that V. That's also 100,000. So hit those and you too can be a Galactic Hero. And make sure if you do max it out, get that 999,999, tell the cast members in the Buzz Lightyear gift shop and they will give you an exclusive sticker. As a reminder, I've got that 3:15 to 4:15 Peter Pan's flight booked. We've got that one on lock, but there are several other attractions we haven't done yet. Not that many headliners left, but you know, we're like halfway through this adventure, so we still got a lot to go. I was able to refresh a little bit and pull a Monsters, Inc. laugh floor for just a few minutes from now, which is what I'm gonna head to next. This one, surprisingly, is a little bit harder of a Genie Plus to pull, just because it is a limited capacity. So sometimes you have to refresh a few times to go in closer. Originally, it was showing me like 3 o'clock, 3:10, and then I finally got it to pull for 2:50, which is in about 10 minutes at this point. So that's where we're headed. The Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is an interactive show with the monsters from Monsters, Inc. It's similar to Turtle Talk with Rush over at Epcot, and it's really funny. Like, legitimately, I laugh every time because, of course, the audience participation and the jokes the monsters say and everything changes. So I find this to be very fun. It usually doesn't have too long of a wait. Normally, you're just waiting in the standby line for the show in front of you to get out. Maybe 2 if it's a really busy day, but this isn't a super, super long attraction, but it's a great filler attraction because it is air conditioned and you can sit down and you're gonna laugh and enjoy it. So just waiting for the next show to be let in and we'll be good to go. And I'm really excited. This show actually just reopened not too long ago, and I haven't actually seen it since. I wasn't here the day that it reopened, and I've been covering other things like Genie Plus since it's reopened. I haven't had a real reason to come see it, but I'm excited to see it now.
We may not have enough power to open the exit doors.
Mike Wazowski. That's Wazowski with one eye.
Well, I guess I have to promote the one responsible.
Oh yeah, what's my new title?
Not you, Wazowski. That guy.
Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, check. I do think that show's really cute. I always laugh in it. It's definitely not a top priority, but if you've got some time to kill, want to sit down, it's really fun. And I'm glad we got to see that. So while I was waiting to see the show, I went ahead and booked my next one, which is at the Tomorrowland Speedway. This is that race car attraction where you get to drive a race car around track. It's really fun for little kids. My nephews loved it. I know a lot of kids loved it. I loved it as a kid. As an adult, I can drive a real car, so it's not a must-do for me. But and I can actually drive a real car much better than I can drive these, because these are literally the hardest things I've ever driven. But we are going to do it. This doesn't usually have too long a line, only has a posted 20-minute wait right now, so I wouldn't say you need a lightning lane for this one at all. It's usually mostly a pretty manageable wait. So this one has a 32-inch height requirement to ride at all and a 54-inch requirement to ride alone. At any point higher than 32 inches, you can drive the car. You probably won't be able to reach the pedals, but you can have the adult you're with push the pedals for you, and then you can steer. And then once you're 54 inches, again, you can have your own car. We play! Alright, I can do it. I can do it. No, I cannot. Nice look at Tron, though. I don't know why I'm so bad at this. Tomorrowland Speedway done. I mean, I laugh every time I ride it. But it's definitely far from a must-do on my list. I really think the only people that truly enjoy and would put this high on their list are little kids who, like I said, can't actually drive a car. So it's fun though, and it's a great filler ride. It's a fairly moderately busy day today. It's a pretty average day. There's, 40 minutes at Thunder right now, 40 minutes at Winnie the Pooh, 50 minutes over at Buzz. So it's not the busiest day ever, obviously, but it's 70 minutes at Peter Pan's Flight. It's definitely 70 minutes at Mine Train, 50 at Splash. So it's definitely not a busy day. It's a pretty average day, I would say. I am technically in my Peter Pan return window. It was, again, 3:15 to 4:15, but I was going to see if I could knock out a few other things on my way over there, starting with Dumbo. So after I tapped in at Speedway, I booked a Dumbo for $325. One question we get a lot of is, how does Rider Swap work with Genie Plus? It works the same it did with Fast Pass Plus, though everybody needs to have Genie Plus in order for both groups to go through the Lightning Lane. Otherwise, if only part of the family or no one has Genie Plus, the first group will go through standby while one person waits out with the child who's not tall enough to ride. And then after the first group is done, they can swap who's watching the child, and the person who waited outside can take one additional person with them back through the Lightning Lane. So you'll still set it up with the cast members. It works the same way. The only difference is if you both want to go through the Lightning Lane, everybody's going to need to have purchased Genie Plus or the Fancy Ride so that the first group can go through the Lightning Lane. Dumbo, an opening day classic, iconic attraction. If you're going to do one of these attractions, make it Dumbo. It's the same thing as Magic Carpets of Aladdin or Triceratops at Animal Kingdom, but this is the OG, this is the original. And what's great about it is it doesn't normally have too long of a line because of these dueling double Dumbos. But if it does have a longer line and you're not in the Lightning Lane, there's actually an interactive circus playground inside the queue. And you can play in there and have a lot of fun. And your kids can run around and you can sit in air conditioning, and then when it's your turn to fly, they'll page you like it's a restaurant. While I was standing here waiting for Dumbo, I went ahead and refreshed a few times. It was showing $355 for the Barnstormer, but I fiddle-faddled, pulled down, refreshed, and got one for $340, which is in just a few minutes, so I'll be able to ride it once I'm done with Dumbo. And now I can concentrate all of my efforts into making sure I get the Clemson-colored Dumbo, the orange and purple one, because I went to Clemson, and even though we're not having the best year, I'm not a fair-weather fan, and I still want the Clemson Dumbo. Do I need to fight them?
Real high flight. So to make your flight a safe.
I think there's two of each color. Is there another purple Dumbo? Oh my gosh, there's not. I guess I gotta fight that kid, huh? Or ride in this dumb blue one. Despite my intense fury at not getting the Dumbo color I wanted, I love Dumbo. It's so cute. It's a classic, and I've said it before, and I'll proudly say it again. If you don't take your kids on Dumbo on their first trip, that's a disservice. I think that's illegal, honestly. I don't care how old they are. I don't care if it's your adult children. You take them on Dumbo, their first trip. And now, as I said, I booked a Barnstormer. So we're going to head over to Goofy's Barnstormer, which means we'll have done everything in Storybook Circus. The Barnstormer has a 35-inch height requirement, and the whole point of it is to be your kid's first coaster, so it's super duper short, so that way if they hate it, it's over before they know it, and if they love it, then you can move them up to something like Mine Train or Big Thunder if they're tall enough for that. So it's got the great circus theme that this whole area does, and your host is the Great Goofini, the stuntman for the ages. Doesn't normally have a super long line. It's a great filler attraction as well, and it seemingly has close by Genie Plus times as well. I'm feeling a little spicy, so I only have like 15 minutes left of my Peter Pan's flight window, but I went ahead and booked Mad Tea Party because I could get one for like right now. So we're gonna do the teacups real quick and then scoot over to Peter Pan's flight. I'm cutting it way too close. I would not recommend this. Because on other attractions they could break and then you could get stuck and miss Peter Pan. But like, I don't think that's gonna happen on the teacups, but I also don't really recommend doing this. It's not worth risking Peter Pan for the teacups, but I'm living on the edge today. The Mad Tea Party, also known as the Teacups, is another opening day attraction. It's iconic. It's a rite of passage, I feel like, but it does make a lot of people nauseous because, of course, you can spin them as fast as you'd like. But pro tip, you don't have to spin them. You can just sit on them and they'll rotate around the tea party, and then you can still get to ride it, but maybe not want to throw up. The teacups are a delight. But definitely don't normally have a long line. Definitely don't recommend riding that one after eating, but I'm glad we did it. And now I've got 4 minutes to get over to Peter Pan, which brings me to a good point, what to do if you are going to miss a Genie Plus. If you're a few minutes late and you're nice to the cast members, they may let you in, and I mean like 15 minutes or less. I don't mean like an hour. If you do think you're gonna end up missing your Genie Plus time, whether it be because your dinner's running long or you decide you're not going to do that, you're all the way across the other side of the park or whatever it is, make sure you go in and cancel it before your window is over, because otherwise, while you'll still be able to book another Genie Plus, you won't be able to book that one because the computer will think you've already booked that one, and you'll have to go to guest relations to get it cleared off your itinerary if you want to ride that ride that you missed. So definitely recommend, if you looks like you're not going to make one, just go ahead in the app and cancel it, so that way you don't have to worry about not being able to book it later. This is one I absolutely 150% recommend using Lightning Lane if you're purchasing Genie Plus at. I waited over 80 minutes for this when Quincy and I did that video a while ago. And let me tell you, 80 minutes is far too long in this line, in any line really. So if you're not buying Genie Plus, ride this one in the morning if you are coming in as a resort guest for early park entry. If you're not, I would recommend waiting until late evening to ride this one when most kids go home and the lines drop a little bit. But this one is brutal right now. The wait times are brutal in standby because of how many people are booking Lightning Lane for this one. Also, just as another little pro tip, you can use your Magic Mobile on your phone to tap in at the attractions, but it doesn't seem to work that well. I've been stuck by a lot of people who are trying to get it to work, and it just won't read it for whatever reason. So you can try it with that, but I recommend still using a card or a Magic Band if you have it, because it taps through a lot faster than Hunter Waits. Peter Pan's flight done. Glad to have a Lightning Lane on that one. It has an 80-minute wait right now. And currently there are Lightning Lanes still available, but they would be for 8:10. So Peter Pan's flight is one of the ones, along with Jungle Cruise, that usually books up for the whole day. So book that one early and use that 120-minute rule to continue booking extra things. Now, I'm going to make this confusing thing even more confusing and let you know that I was able to book 2 more at a time. I know, it's confusing. You're supposed to only be able to book 1 at a time. We went over the 120-minute rule earlier, but imagine, if you will, I feel like I need a digital like whiteboard, like a football person. Imagine, if you will, 2 tracks. I had track 1 that included Peter Pan's flight, and then I had track 2 that included the cool down from Peter Pan's flight, and that, when my 120 minutes were up at 1:39, was how I was able to book like Buzz and the Speedway and Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor and Teacups and Barnstormer and Dumbo. I was able to book, after I tapped into Peter Pan's flight, It's a Small World, but I was also able to book The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So it seems like once you've activated the ability to have 2, you can keep having 2 once you've used Peter Pan. Isn't that weird? I know, it's so confusing, but now I can book 2 at a time, it seems. So if you will, one of the ones I booked is coming off of Teacups being done, and the other one I booked came off of Peter Pan being done. So now I can keep having 2. I'm going to tap into Small World and see if I can also book another one to keep the fun times rolling. It's a Small World, another opening day attraction, an iconic Disney ride with one of the most iconic songs of all by the Sherman Brothers. It's that fun boat ride around the world with Children of the World. Once I was stuck on this for a really long time. Let's hope that doesn't happen right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, look how good this looks. They colored it all bright to really make that Mary Blair artwork pop for the 50th. I love it. All right, let's see if I can still book another one and continue to have 2 at a time. So I have Winnie the Pooh at 5:05. And the only Lightning Lanes I haven't actually booked yet are Big Thunder, because remember I used a redemption one there, and Under the Sea Journey to Little Mermaid. So let's see if I can book this one. Magic! Awesome. So once you've activated the ability to have 2, you can keep having 2. With It's a Small World, I'm happy to report I did not get stuck. However, one of the hula girls that goes like this too fast was missing, so something happened there. Also, if they ever try to remove Drunk Hippo or fix her eye, I will form a protest. Anyway, I'm off to the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is my next one. I also wanted to address the fact that I'm not doing Mickey's PhilharMagic today, even though that will be a Genie Plus attraction when it reopens on November 12th, which I can't remember if this video comes out before or after that. But this is going to be a Genie Plus attraction, and it's going to feature a new scene with Coco, so like, I guess I won't see Quincy all of November 12th because she'll just be here. But that is a Genie Plus attraction. It's not going to be one that's difficult to book. It's just a show. It's a 3D show. It's really cute. It's a great filler ride. Not going to be a great use of a Genie Plus on most days, similar to like Muppet Vision 3D, but great attraction, and it will be added to Genie Plus once it reopens. The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is an adorable dark ride in a honey pot where you get to go visit the characters from the 100 Acre Wood. I love it. It will get a longer line because it is popular with the little ones, so it has a 40-minute wait right now. So if you've got little ones in your family, this is definitely a good use of a Genie Plus. And I'm excited right now to go ride it because I really think this attraction is so cute and a little bit underrated. This, but I really like that ride. I think it's so cute. I'm not saying I like it more than Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, because I'm not, because I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride out at Disneyland. It's a delight. But Winnie the Pooh is so cute, and Tigger and the whole 100 Acre Gang, I love them. And I just love any dark ride through a Disney story, and that's exactly what that is. So I wish we lived in a world where we could have both. But I do really like that ride. All right, Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid is a dark ride, which I love, through the Little Mermaid. And it's an Omnimover, a classic. And it's also my nightmare, so. And this is our last one, so I guess we're ending on a nightmare. Why is this attraction my nightmare, you ask? Why could a pleasant family ride through the iconic story Little Mermaid with the music of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken be my nightmare? Ursula. That's why. She's my nemesis from childhood. I was so scared of her as a child, and she still stresses me out to this day. So let's go see a giant animatronic of her, I guess. Is this how we're ending this? Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. Check. What a nightmare that is. A giant Ursula. In reality, I like that ride because I like dark rides. They feel very Disney to me, especially Omnimover rides, so did it. Check. Great filler ride, that one. Don't usually need a fast pass or anything for that one, but that was it. I didn't mean to flip right there. That was it, considering I used that recovery for Big Thunder earlier. I've done all 18 in the park, but I thought about it, and I don't want number 18 to be Little Mermaid with Ursula, and I don't want to leave any lightning lane that I could possibly walk through unused. So I fiddled and I faddled, and I pulled the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad for about 20 minutes from right now, so we're gonna go get a snack. These are the 50th anniversary spring rolls. They're pastrami and pepper jack. Ooh, those are great. And then we're gonna ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad one more time. We'll have officially completed the challenge. Well, friends, we did it. I used the lightning lane at every attraction I possibly could in the Magic Kingdom, 18 in total, including a little bonus ride on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So there's so many big, wonderful attractions here, and it's nice to be able to just skip the lines and enjoy walking right on the attraction. I do think the fancy rides are a coin flip here. Mine Train, maybe you want to use it. Totally depends on your family and the time of year. I don't think for the most part you're going to need it for Space Mountain, though. I think Genie Plus could be very, very helpful in this park, especially because a lot of the attractions I did today, you don't need Genie Plus at, so you could book all the heavy hitters of Genie Plus, your mountains, your pirates, your mansion, your Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, and then fill in the rest of the day with those awesome filler attractions, entertainment, snacks, etc., and you could have yourself a really wonderful, perfect day. So once again, I think that the use of Genie Plus is going to be combined with standby lines to really create that amazing experience. But that said, if you plan strategically, if you follow us and our tips, you can have a good day here without using it. You just have to be a little more strategic about when you're getting in lines. We've got lots of Genie Plus videos already up. We've got more on the way, so let us know what else you want to see. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media at AllEarsNet, and until next time, I'm Molly, and it's Magical. Bye! Hey everybody, it's Molly. Thanks for watching All Ears. Please make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you want more Disney Genie videos, we've got a playlist for you right over here. Thanks for watching!